Hey, welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in on this stormy and candlelit Halloween evening. Happy Halloween, y'all. Today we got a fun scenario for you. We're playing against the Hood, but not just the Hood. This is the Halloween Horror Hood. We have picked 9 of the most frightful encounter sets from the history of Marvel Champions, and we have no idea what this night holds for us as the Hood just randomly picks those encounter cards and shuffles them into the deck. So we're in for a trick or treat, that's for sure. Now today we're playing a Captain America deck. This is just a basic tech protection deck. I haven't played Captain America in a long time, but coming from the first wave, I know it's pretty hard to find right now. But it's just very cool, very generalist, very easy to play deck that doesn't ask too much of you and gives you a lot of flexibility in return. This is our hero. We have a 2/2/2 stat line, which is pretty smooth, but hey, I can do this all day. As long as we discard a card as an action, we can ready Captain America, which kind of makes it a 4 thwart or 4 attack or somewhere in the middle, which is really nice. We also like defending because that means we can discard a card and ready ourselves into the hero phase, which is sometimes one of the like emotional bummers of playing a protection deck. On our alter ego side, we have a basic 3 recovery. Our setup means that we'll be grabbing our Captain America shield as long as we don't draw into it in our mulligan hand, which is a bummer. And our first ally we play each phase is reduced by cost by 1 if we're in our alter ego. That's something that matters a bit more in multiplayer. That's really easy to fire. We're not going to be firing that too much, but our ability, otherwise, most of our power here is on the hero side. Now, quickly to go through the kit, we have Captain America shield. This is Captain America's shield. It gives us +1 defense and retaliate 1, which is a really great start for a protection deck. And we're going to be having this on the table for most of the game, giving us a 3 defense and retaliate, which is a good start. And then we have a bunch of cards that care about having the shield in play. So this is shield block. It exhausts your shield and you take no damage when you would take damage. That's really easy to know when to play this. If the damage is big, you should have your shield on the table. Speaking of the shield on your table, if you want to toss it, you can discard X cards to do 4 damage to X enemies and return your shield back to your hand. Unfortunately, this is attack traded, which means guard actually does stop it. So if you want to defeat a guard enemy and then attack the villain behind it, that doesn't always work. So just watch out. Then we have some, again, very easy cards to play. And speaking of the evening in front of us, Fearless Determination is exactly what we need. +1 thwart, draw a card. And because we can ready ourselves, this is actually usually akin to +2 thwart because we get +1 thwart, ready ourselves +1 thwart, which is great. Our resource generators are relatively generous, and our deck is running no other resource generators because this seems like it goes far enough. 2 copies of Super Soldier Serum gives us 2 physical resources a turn, which is a great spot to be in. And speaking of physicals, we have 3 copies, of Heroic Strike, which is 6 damage and a stun, which for 3 cost is a bit expensive, but the stun, especially in solo, goes really quite far. As much as we are a protection deck and we don't mind getting attacked, but this means we can spend more focus attacking the minions, which I do think is a problem sometimes in this encounter. We have our helmet. This is our don't die button. When you would die, don't. It's good. Cost 1. You can get it down if you're worried. And then we have Steve's apartment, which is just the most middle of the road, really all right alter ego action. Nothing to write home about, but it's just good text. I won't jump down to fire this, but when we're in alter ego, we're happy it's there. That's for sure. Finally, allies, not the biggest star of this deck, but Agent 13 is just a great ally. She clears 2 thwart when she comes in and she just thwarts a lot. So that's what we're going to be using for her because we have a lot of damage in our kit, but not that much thwarting. So that's great. Now we are a tech traded deck. And one of the best reasons to play tech when it comes to protection is we have 3 copies of Repurpose. Repurpose just works really well with Captain America because when you repurpose away a tech card, you can give yourself +2 attack, +2 thwart, +2 defense, depending on the cost of the card you discard. But that's for the whole round, which means because we can ready ourselves naturally, you actually triple down on those stats where we can activate, repurpose first, then activate, then ready ourselves with Captain America's text, then go one more time. So it goes really well. And then we just have the usual suspects when it comes to protection cards. So 3 copies of Energy Barrier, one of my favorite cards. It's just a fair bit of damage mitigation. You can move that damage around, which we like. We have 1 copy Force Field Generator. Not my favorite card. It's a bit expensive, but it forces you to prevent the next 6 damage. And then hopefully with 1 damage left on this is when you repurpose it for +3. We're running Electrostatic Armor, which is legally distinct retaliate, but it only fires when you defend. So we will be defending a fair bit. And we have the new card Spider Bite, which is just auto include if you're playing enough tech cards. And I think we're just on the cusp of playing enough tech cards. She might be awkward if we draw her in the wrong time. We also are in Alter Ego a shield card, which I totally forgot about. And there's some really good shield cards in the last sets. So Leo Fitz and Gemma Simmons are perfect. They are both only cost 1 if we're in Alter Ego where we're shield traded. And while Leo will search her deck for a tech card, Gemma will help you pay for it, which is just really nice because we need tech cards to do all the sort of tech stuff we're doing. We're also playing the no-nonsense protection stuff that you might be used to. Unflappable says if we defend and don't take damage, which our energy barriers and shields make that more consistent. Armored Vest. Armored Vest means we get to 5 defense with our shield as well, which is great. Change of Fortune. We don't have any like strong Change of Fortune cards in our deck. We don't have Powerful Punch or Riposte or stuff like that. But we just have enough Retaliate and enough ways to move damage around with our energy barriers. That's very likely we'll be drawing cards off of this. I'm playing the Night Nurse. There is a fair bit of Stun or Confuse in some of the encounter sets I've picked, and this is just a bit of healing while we also remove some status effects, which is quite nice. We're playing 2 copies of Ready for Fight and 1 copy of Practice Plan. I'm not sure if this should just be 3 copies of Ready for Fight, but what a good card from the last set for protection. This means we can jump down to Alter Ego consistently to search our deck with Leo Fitz, which is great. And Practice Plan just says when you discard this card, put it back in your hand so you can do it again over and over and over again. So should be easy enough to jump down to Alter Ego. Last up, we just have some allies. Again, nothing too special, just some nice, good cards, 3 resources to follow it off. We have Brother Voodoo, one of the first protection allies I really loved, comes in for 3 and searches your top 5 cards for an event. And we have some really strong events in the kit. We have Neutral Gambit, who's just totally fine. Search the top of the deck. You'll know what you're drawing into with boost icons, but if we can grab one of those expert cards, I'll be happy. And then Gambit stats are good. Prof X is just Prof X. This is the only Confuse we have in the kit. And then Nick Fury is good. And gives us flexibility, make weird hands into different hands. And that's the deck. It's really straightforward. You want to play some good Marvel champions. You have that ready ability to be consistent, and then you have some cool pop-off turns with repurpose. Really quite fun, and hopefully the hood won't be too big of a problem. Speaking of a problem, let's look at the hood. All right, so the hood starts out relatively simply. The encounter set is pretty thin. It's only the hood, and the hood is just about 10 cards, a couple attachments. A Treachery is only 1 minion. We're going to be playing on Expert, so we have Expert and Standard. And the setup says to choose 7 modular encounter sets. We've picked 9, choose one of them randomly, and shuffle it into the encounter deck. So let's pull out the board. These are our 9 horrific Marvel Champions encounter sets. Really quickly, we have Horror, we have Legions of Hell, we have some zombies. Creeping Willow, we have some creeping vines. The Ancient Ritual, the cultists are there. Sauron, the monster that just haunts us. We have the Beastie Boys, we have Mr. Hyde, we have the Ghouls of Brothers Grimm, and then we have Personal Nightmare from Mysterio. We have to pick one of these, and we'll be adding a whole bunch of these to the encounter deck, and the deck will just get more and more diluted with different horrors. So I'm going to roll a die. It has to land on the box. 1, 2 will be top row. 5, 6 will be bottom row. 3, 4 is middle row. So this will be 1, 2, 5, 6. And we're starting with 5, 6. So this is one of the smaller sets. We're adding 4 Beastie Boys to the deck. I don't have too much experience with the Beastie Boys, but they're going to go into their deck. I believe they do care about stun and confuse a fair bit. 2 of them are big minions. So hopefully we're prepared for those relatively soon. Now, in theory, I'm not going to put this board away because as soon as we advance, largely as soon as we advance, we're going to have to do the same thing one more time. So Making Connections flips over, and the backside of it says, the hood is recruiting an army, convincing various villains that they are stronger together than they are apart. Comes in with 1 threat on 5 only it advances. When revealed, resolve the hood's foul playability in player order. So let's go to the hood. We're starting on hood 2 because we're playing on Expert. Foul play says, discard the top 2 cards in the counter deck and deal the first card discarded this way that does not belong to the hood as a face down encounter card. So we'll know what the card is. And most of these cards at this point, there's a lot of standard Expert cards. There's a couple Beastie Boy cards, but there's still a fair few hood cards. We'll be able to see what encounter card we're almost guaranteed to get extra next round. So we'll give this a cut. Discard 2, we have Beast Mode and Upper Hand. So the first card we discarded that wasn't is Beast Mode. This is a side scheme that comes in with 3 threat. We'll put that aside. That'll be a problem for later. But we're not done because the hood 2 says, when revealed, choose 1 set aside modular encounter set and shuffle it into the deck. So I'm not sure where the die went. We have another die. So again, 1, 2, 5, 6. 5, 6 is bottom row. So 1, 2, 5, 6. 5, 6, we have Mr. Hyde, another really small one. I've actually never played with this one, so we might find out what the text on this is. I think Mr. Hyde is just really big, and then there's another minion that can transform into Mr. Hyde. You know the story. So we'll give that a shuffle, put this aside, and we should be off for our mulligan. The lighting on this one, mind you, is a bit different. That's for sure. That's intentional. Hopefully it looks okay. If not, I have some work to do in post, but we are playing by candlelight. So things might be a bit more dim than we're used to. I'll give this a cut. We'll shuffle our deck and then we should be off. All right, we're mulliganing for, I think we want our super soldier serums relatively quickly. Gemma and Leo would also be really nice because of course we start the game in alter ego and that's when they become really cheap. Otherwise, I'm not 100% sure what we want to open with. It's always nice to have a tech card on the table at all points in time so that when you draw into a repurpose, you're good to go. But I think we're going to find out really quickly what we want. Again, Hood has 16 health, only attacks for 1, schemes for 2, but 5 threat is relatively low. So we have to be careful. Probably a single advance will cook us regardless, but we'll do the best we can there. All right, let's mull again. We're off. 6 cards. First, a shield block. We do not keep this. We generally don't keep defense cards for a whole phase in our hand because that's just not a good use of card. So we'll discard that. Strength, we can definitely keep that. We have a couple cards that are a bit more expensive. We want to draw an ally, I think, in our opening hand too because of our alter ego ability. So this lines up well. Captain America Shield. This is actually perfect that we draw this because we're going to discard it because we don't want it. And because we're discarding this, we know that our alter ego ability to search for it won't whiff. So we don't keep this. The Night Nurse, definitely not a card we need to keep, but she's good to have, I guess. Super Soldier Serum, that's perfect. That's probably where our strength will go. So that's a good setup. And then we have Fearless Determination, which like, you should always keep this card, I'm pretty sure, because if you play it, it just replaces itself. That being said, +1 thwart does not really help us kind of points at the board. But if you play it, it replaces itself. So why not get a bit of value? This is actually not entirely true because we only replace itself in hero mode. But if we are in alter ego mode, we might draw an ally. Yeah, actually, we should not keep this. That's weird. Yeah, normally you should keep these can't trip cards, but this one actually matters because we want to find an ally in alter ego. So we'll discard 4. We get Gambit. That's perfect. We can play Gambit for 2 because our text says our first ally reduced the cost by 1. We have a Shield Toss, which doesn't do anything. We have Practice Plan, which we can just play. It's free. It's fine. And then the last card is an Energy Barrier, which is also really good. So we have some choices here. Now, before we forget, Alter Ego kicks in here and we can go search our deck and discard pile for our shield. And we're definitely going to want to play that this turn. Let's consider what our turn should be here. Okay, so if we play our Serum, that's a start. The Serum generates a resource. We can use that resource to play our shield. That's good. That leaves us with this hand. Readying ourselves is something we want to do, but on this turn, it's a card for 2 damage functionally because that's mostly what we're going to be doing. So it's not really important. So we could play Gambit for 2 using our text on our alter ego and then just play Practice Plan. That might be fine. The other option is we can get Energy Barrier down, which is, again, it's really good to have a tech card down just so if we draw into a repurpose, we don't look silly. But I think I actually kind of want to get Gambit down just because it's good and I like playing Gambit. So let's start there. Let's play Gambit. So firstly, our alter ego ability says that reduce the cost of the first ally played each round by 1. That only works if we're in alter ego, so we'll commit to that now. We'll spend 1/2 on Gambit. Gambit says, after Gambit enters play, look at the top 3 cards in the counter deck. We can't reorder them. Ooh, 3 boost, 2 boost, and a 1 boost. So this is good. We look at the top 3. We tuck one of them underneath, so only the boost is visible, and then he gets those stats. So Under Fire is just like the worst card. It becomes 2 cards and has 3 boosts, so that's natural. That means Mandrill, which will be our 2 boost, and then Mist Hide Formula will be our 1 encounter card. Hide Formula, I don't think does anything. I think it just surges unless Mr. Hyde is on the table. And Mandrill being attacked for 3 seems acceptable. So I think we'll tuck Under Fire, under Gambit, and then we'll put these back. I'm going to put them back face up because technically we know them. So Gambit now activates for 3, which is pretty good. I got some new die recently, so I'm going to go ahead and just like mark these. Obviously health is down here, and that's a good way to remember. Cool. It gets a bit dark with the candlelight, so I'll try and spread it out a bit. But yeah, that's where we are in this. Okay. Next, I'm going to do Strength for Super Soldier Serum. And we're going to generate 1 resource from this to go play Captain America's Shield. Captain America's Shield technically doesn't exhaust itself to do anything, but there's cards that care about it, so we'll put a button. And Captain America's Shield gives us +1 defend with the die. Green die means plus defend. And then we have Retaliate. We'll flip up to hero mode, and then we will just play a Practice Plan. Doesn't do anything, but eventually we'll draw ready for fight. We will attack for 2 into the hood, down to 14, and then Gambit will attack for 3. Hood's down to 11, and we will pass. Draw up 5. First card, it's Heroic Strike. That is 6 damage and a stun, which we can set up relatively okay. Agent 13 if we need more thwarting. Brother Voodoo, that searches the top 5 for an event. We have Fearless Determination, which we can play. We know we're going to have more threat coming in because there's 1 encounter card waiting for us. And then finally, we have an Energy Barrier, which I really want to get that down because not having a tech card means repurpose is a pretty bad draw. Making Connections just goes to the 2, and the Hood just attacks us here. And we know that Hood's going to be attacking us for 3 damage. So if we want to block, we can block. But blocking here is just akin to recovering 3. Will we recover 3 on a turn we're drawing 2 encounter cards? I don't think so, because I think we'd rather like thwart this and then, be ready for a minion or something like that. I think I'm just going to take the damage here. We should be able to jump down and recover somewhere in the near future because we have a Practice Plan set up. Oh, Gambit is ready. So I think we just take 3 damage. Hood attacks for 3. We take 3. Retaliate 1 hits the villain. which is nice. And then we draw 2 encounter cards, which we know kind of what they are. First card is Beast Mode. I don't know the text on this. Comes in with 3 threat though. It says, Force Interrupt. When a stunned or confused friend of the character would take any amount of damage, increase that amount by 1. That's cool text. So we probably should get rid of that sooner than later. We know we lost our Night Nurse. Next, we get Hide Formula, which this has a lot of text on it. I think it cares about Zabo and it cares about Hide. But if neither is in play, it gets Surge. Our one unknown card is Double Trouble. Ooh, that's not good. When revealed, stun a character, confuse a character. So we can spread this out. And I think actually it's totally fine if we put, say, stun on Gambit, confuse on us. Because Gambit can clear Beast Mode. We can clear making connections. And that's probably fine. Maybe that's okay. I think that's what we're going to go for. Double Trouble is a cool card. All right, and it's back to us. We can spend a card to ready ourselves, which that's okay. What are we playing from our hand? I'm going to put my serum on this side so it's easier to see around the microphone. Fearless Determination actually gives us +3 thwart, so I guess it doesn't really matter which way we go. I think we always play this first. Gives us +1 thwart. We'll mark that with the die, and we just draw a card. Cool. So we draw a shield block. We don't need that. I think we're going to get rid of the Confuse. I'm scared. I think there's going to be more cards that care about stun and confuse, so we'll thwart for 3, getting rid of the Confuse, thwarting nothing. Gambi will thwart for 3, clearing. Actually, maybe we don't this round. Maybe we thwart for 3, because otherwise we're wasting our stats. I don't know if we have to keep this down to 0. Maybe that's smart, but maybe this is an Ancient 13 angle. The other thing is we can do is we can play Heroic Strike for 1, 2, 3, but then we can't play these cards. 6 damage and a stun is good. Don't get me wrong. But I think it might be more important that we get an Energy Barrier down. If we play the Energy Barrier for 2 cards, that leaves us with this. Actually, it's a really ugly hand because we have all these 3-costers. And if we play a 3-coster, it's left with this hand that we can't play. So if we play a 2-coster, it leaves us with this. Yeah, it's just a very clumsy hand here. So we can always play Heroic Strike. We could ready ourselves. We could hold on to an Energy Barrier. I don't love holding on to cards. Energy Barrier doesn't seem that important, but holding on to cards on Marvel Champions is relatively expensive because it costs you going through your deck. And going through your deck is where you find the rest of your cards that you need to set up, let alone hopefully you have some powerful cards in there. But I think that's where we go. I think we're going to do Super Soldier Serum to generate 1. And then we'll do Voodoo, Agent 13 for Heroic Strike. This does 6 damage to the hood, knocking the hood down to 4. So relatively quick. If you paid for this card using a physical, which we did because Super Soldier Serum generates a physical, we'll go ahead and stun the hood. Okay. I'll throw out the shield block to do our ability. I could do this all day. We're ready. And then we'll thwart for 3, clearing out Beast Mode. With Gambit, we'll just attack to clear the stun. I think we'll risk this for a second. And then I'm going to hold on to the Energy Barrier and we'll pass. When we draw the Repurpose on this round, it'll be totally worth it. Steve's Apartment, Gemma. So we kind of want to jump down. I'd love to get ready for a fight. Another Heroic Strike and an Armored Vest. Okay. This goes to 3. The hood doesn't attack because the hood's stunned. We draw 1 encounter card. It is Upper Hand. Okay, we're getting attacked regardless and could be worse. So when revealed hero, the hood attacks you. So that's going to start being attacked for 1 in a card. We know after this, we're going to resolve the hood's foul play ability. So we're very likely to get another encounter card. Gambit is good to deal with cards that we draw. Heroic Strike is good to deal with minions we draw. So I think we're actually going to defend here. So we'll defend it for 3. We technically don't have this +1 thwart. So 1, 2 damage. We found Calvin Zabo. We take none of the damage. We return 1 with Retaliate. Then Upper Hand fires. The hood resolves the foul play ability. Because we're on the hood too, because we're playing expert, the foul play ability discards 2 cards, a hood card and a hood card. Okay, so nothing happens because we draw the first non-hood card. And if I'm not mistaken, because we're in the draw encounter card step, if we drew an encounter card there, we would actually have to draw it immediately. So we got away with it. That's fine. Okay, it's back to us. We can't safely jump down. We have no confuse and we don't have any ready for fights. So we might just want to stay up one more time. Gambit can clear the making connections, which is nice. We're 3 damage. The problem is when you advance hood to hood 3, the foul play ability gets so much worse. Discard the top 2 cards, deal each card discarded this way instead of the first card. So it usually gets twice as bad. So if we knock out hood here, we have to watch out that we need to close the game relatively quickly. In some ways, it's a bummer to close the game quickly because hood gets more and more interesting the more encounter cards that go into the deck, but we're not going to like throw for that. We could jump down. We could play our apartment, use our apartment, play Gemma, use Gemma to play the Energy Barrier. Like jumping down to Alter Ego has so much value in this hand. There's a small chance that Steve's Apartment draws are ready for a fight. If that happens, we are golden. That is the only good thing to say here. I think we're going to risk it. I think we're going to risk jumping down. Unless we get a 3 boost, we're okay. So Gambit, thwart for 3. We're praying for no 3 boost. We've already stolen 1 3 boost. And then I think we're just going to hop down to Alter Ego. Okay. In Alter Ego, I'm going to throw out Heroic Strike to play Steve's Apartment. I'm not going to use the Super Soldier Serum just yet, because if we draw a practice plan, we need the Physical and Super Soldier Serum. Steve's Apartment, we can exhaust this to draw a card and heal one. Okay, we didn't draw the Super Soldier Serum, bummer. But Steve heals one. Then I think we're just going to throw out Spider Bite to play Gemma. We can exhaust Gemma. Mind you, she was cheaper because we are Shield and Alter Ego to generate a mental. Then we'll throw an Armored Vest to play Energy Barrier. Energy Barrier. Oh, we have one more resource. So we could have readied ourselves. We could have used this to ready ourselves so we could have recovered fully. Yeah, bummer. In theory, it's fine because we could have drawn into the practice plan, but this comes in with 3 counters. That wasn't a perfect turn, I think. I think we were gambling on something, but this has 3 counters on it. We'll use the green die. And then each time that we take damage, we can choose to redirect that damage, which is kind of perfect. So we wasted 1 resource here. A resource could have been a card. That card means we could have readied ourselves. So we could have attacked for 2 or recovered. I think we'll be okay. And we'll draw 6. Leo's here. That's great. Energy Barrier. The last Super Soldier Serum. A repurpose. A second repurpose. And I would love a practice plan. It's an unflappable. That's actually really good. So let's see if we survive this 1 main scheme or we advance. So this goes to 1. And the hood schemes for 2 in a card. So we're looking for no 3 boost. 1, 2, 3, 4 boost. Wait, 4 boost doesn't. Math is hard. Okay, so we draw Shadow of the Past. That makes us go to 5. So we advance. So it's going to get bad regardless. Promise Prosperity is next. So we didn't need a 3 boost. Man, simple math is hard sometimes. When revealed, choose 1 set aside modular encounter set, shuffle it into the encounter deck with an acceleration token. Let's pull out the board. You know the drill. 1, 2, 5, 6. I'm really hoping we get horror in there sooner than later. We could. 1, 2, 5, 6. 5, 6. It's Creeping Willow. This is Black Tom Cassidy. This set is like worth knowing it's in the deck and playing around because there's a bunch of these Creeping Willows that quick strike for 1. If they do damage to you, you are stunned. Luckily, Energy Barrier is a really good thing for that because Energy Barrier just says don't take the damage and you redirect the damage. So we really want to keep an Energy Barrier around so that we don't have to worry about the stun off of the spines. All right, we have to shuffle this, give it a cut. We have to put 1 acceleration token on the main scheme. This encounter set uses acceleration in a really strange way. Not a lot of sets do this. And then the backside of Promise Prosperity comes in with 2 threat, gets now 2 a turn because of the acceleration, and it just says when revealed, resolve the foul play. So we discard 2. And the first non-hood card we have to draw. So luckily we dodged in advance, but we're going to have a Creeping Willow waiting for us, which at least in Alter Ego doesn't do anything. Now we draw encounter cards. So first, we know what this is. This is a Creeping Willow. We are in Alter Ego, so it's fine. So 3 health, guard, quick strike. After Creeping Willow attacks a character, stun them, and damages a character. Next card, Man Out of Time. Oh no, okay, this will exhaust us, I think, which is not the worst. So either exhaust Steve Rogers or discard half of our hand. I'm not going to discard our hand, so we're going to exhaust ourselves and remove this from the game. And it's back to us. Okay, so we have a couple things we can do here. First, we should just use Steve's Apartment. In theory, there is some world where you play Leo Fits first, and then use Leo Fits to search your deck for a tech card so that if you draw the tech card, you don't waste the draw. But I think our deck has enough tech cards. I'm not stressed about that. So I'm going to use Steve's Apartment first to heal 1 and draw a card. We didn't draw a tech card. We drew our helmet, which is our don't die button. I think we're relatively comfortable on 10 health. Knock on wood. So I think we will play Leo here. I think our helmet's the least necessary card. So we'll discard the helmet for Leo. And then we can use Leo. Only cost 1 because we're a shield. To search our deck for a tech card. So I don't know what's left, but we'll probably take just about anything. Electrostatic armor is really cheap. We can play that for free. I think that's one of our only 2 options. We'll go for the cheaper one. There's also the 3 damage shield or 3 cost shield, which is not bad. But having the cheap armor here is not that bad. Okay, we'll get that cut. And I think we're just going to jump up and start fighting. So we will jump up. All right, Creeping Willow has guard. 2 threat plus 2 a turn means we have to watch out for that. This might be a repurpose angle. I think we want to set down our other Super Soldier Serum. Unflappable is good to set up before we cycle our deck as well. We have a bunch of like engine pieces here. I think the second Super Soldier Serum is probably the most important because that's our only other resource generator. So we'll get rid of 1 repurpose and use the Super Soldier Serum to play the second Super Soldier Serum. Very difficult to say. Gemma means we can spend 1 resource fewer on a tech card. We're going to repurpose this Energy Barrier, which is a bummer. Then we can play this one for free and then play Unflappable. We probably want to ready ourselves if we're repurposing. So maybe we just play this armor cheaply. Yeah, we played this for free and then we repurpose the armor. So we'll use Gemma, generate some mental for a tech card, and we'll play this electrostatic armor. I'm not going to show you what the text is because we're just going to repurpose it immediately. So repurpose, discard a tech card, choose thwart, attack, or defend, we get +1 to that stat for the rest of this round, which means if we ready ourselves, which this does ready ourselves, we can go in. So I think we're gonna give a +1 attack to ourselves. So now that we can one-shot the Creeping Willow and we are ready, yeah, that seems good. We will attack for 3 into the Willow, defeating it. So we could here discard the energy barrier to use our hero ability to ready ourselves. We will then thwart for 2, clearing Promise Prosperity. I don't think I want to defeat the Hood until we're like fully set up, because if we attack for 3, the Hood will defeat it, and then we draw a bunch of extra encounter cards. Gambit will probably block. We'll keep Gambit as like a panic block, I think, sooner than later. And then we'll use this Super Soldier Serum to play Unflappable, which is good to get this part of the engine up. So that if we defend and don't take any damage, which we are blocking relatively well, we'll draw a card. That's all we got. We'll pass. Draw 5. Change of Fortune. Okay, we have energy. I think we have another resource in there. Heroic Strike to get the stun when we advance is pretty nice. Another Repurpose, tracks, and then we have Ready for a Fight, which we've been looking for a bit. That's our safety against like any sort of advance or any sort of like scheming activation because the thresholds are relatively low. Speaking of that, we go to 2 of 8. The Hood now attacks for 1 in a card. If we defend here and take no damage, we draw a card. We have a Ready in our hand, so I think we'll go for it. We'll defend for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 on Madame Mask. Now that seems bad. It was actually not that bad at all. So 3 boost on Madame Mask. This is the 1 minion that shows up in the Hood set, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 4 damage. We block 3, but now we can use a counter on Energy Barrier to return the favor. So that'll do 1 damage to the Hood. Retaliate does 1 damage to the Hood, but also we took no damage. So with Unflappable, we draw a card. We drew Prof X. 1 encounter card. Stealth Experimentation. I don't know what this card does. When revealed, 5 threat. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for Mr. Hyde and reveal him. That's not good. When a brute enemy would take any amount of damage, checking the Hood is not a brute, remove that much threat from this scheme instead. Oh my God. Okay, so we have to go find Mr. Hyde. My guess was Mr. Hyde is huge. I think he has 10 health. Yeah, he's big. So when a brute enemy, which Hyde is a brute enemy, would take damage, remove that much threat from this scheme instead. So in theory, we have 15 damage of Mr. Hyde to go through. When revealed, if Zabo is in play, I think Zabo's in the discard pile. Discard Calvin Zabo. Mr. Hyde engages that player, give a tough status card, and deal 1 damage to each hero and ally in play. I became what I always wanted. Okay, attacks for 3. As a big boy. So we have some work to do. That's for sure. In theory, I think we can stun Mr. Hyde with Prof X in our hand. I think I was considering putting a stun gun in this deck and I decided not to, but this might be a good reason to play a stun gun. We get Heroic Strike Mr. Hyde as well, but Mr. Hyde has 10 health. Let me get some dice ready. Okay. Big guy. Very big guy. So Prof X can go for the stun. I think it's more likely that we'll like confuse Hood and jump down. And then we can use Prof X to work on self-experimentation. We could probably like get attacked once because playing Prof X and not using Prof X for the chump block like feels bad because Prof X is only there for a turn. So like just immediately jumping down is usually not correct or feels bad. Okay. Otherwise, no tech cards in hand. So Gemma doesn't do anything. Repurpose can get rid of Energy Barrier. I like the Energy Barrier. I actually kind of want to keep it. We'll see how bad our turn is, but keeping the Energy Barrier against those Willows makes a lot of sense to me. So I will do 1 Super Soldier Serum, 2, 3 for energy, and we'll play Prof X. When Prof X enters play, we're going to choose to confuse the villain. Okay. And then we're just going to thwart 3 off of this. Cool. We didn't block with Gambit, and we are going to deck out if we play our whole hand. So this might be a fine time to do like Gambit, attack for 3, go. Self-experimentation said remove that much threat, so we can clear it by clearing Hyde. Okay. I mean, I think we do. I wonder if we can set up a change of fortune on Mr. Hyde. That'd be kind of cool, huh? I think we want to do a Heroic Strike when we can. So if we do 1, 2, 3 for Heroic Strike, it leaves us with 1 card. 1 card we can use to ready ourselves, but we won't be able to play Ready for a Fight or Change for Fortune. With Confused, Ready for a Fight's not super important. 1 more card in this hand would be good. But yeah, I think we just, oh man, if we do 6 damage to the Hood, advances the Hood. I think we'd rather just like stun Mr. Hyde. So we'll do Super Soldier Serum. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3 for Heroic Strike. So that does 6 damage. So this will drop, but this takes 2 off. And then we do 4 to Hyde, and we stun Mr. Hyde because we spent a physical. Okay, big guy. We have the Repurpose in our hand. We could repurpose the Energy Barrier. I'm just going to discard this to use our hero ability to ready ourselves. Mind you, this +1 attack we don't have. That was for last turn. I think we want to use Gambit, so I think Gambit's just going to attack for 3. Dropping Hyde from 6 to 3 is defeated. We'll release Under Fire. Hopefully we won't see that again. And then we'll just thwart for 2 to keep this clear. Yeah, this seems okay. We'll pass. So at 3 health, this is a good spot. because, oh, well, we just threw out a Change of Fortune, but keeping minions at low health is actually really good for a Change of Fortune deck. We draw our last 5 cards. Oh, the Hood's on 1 health, which means the Hood's going to advance this turn because of Retaliate. I guess we can block with Prof X, so we don't have to advance. I guess with Change of Fortune, we actually could have played the Change of Fortune to draw 2 when the Hood advances. I don't think I saw that. I was too focused on this big guy. 5 cards, Shield Toss. Nick Fury is here. The last ready for a fight, Genius. And the last card is Force Field Generator, which we might actually be able to play here. We get an encounter card. And if the Hood advances, I think we get a bunch more encounter cards. I think you do the foul play, but maybe actually you just add cards to the deck. Okay, give us a shuffle. We're in a good spot, I think. I hate saying that, but I think we're in an okay spot here. All right, this goes to 2. Hood attacks for 1 in a card. We're just going to block with Prof X so we don't advance. 2, oops, Field Recruit. This seems bad. Field Recruitment, after activation, resolve the foul play ability. We can't get away from it. So that's going to knock out Prof X. Doesn't hit the cycle, which sucks. And then we did the Hood's ability. So we're going to discard 2 cards. First card is a Hood card. Second card is Griffin. So that'll be waiting for us. I'm pretty sure I saw Quick Strike on that. Now, Mr. Hyde attacks is stunned. And then we draw 3 cards. First card, Assault. I guess we're advancing. Assault. So Hood attacks us. So he's going to be attacking us for 1 in a card. Now, I'm pretty sure the minion we saw has Quick Strike, and I think it attacks for more than 1 in a card, or on average more than 1 in a card. So I think we're just going to take the Hood damage here and say our energy barrier is going to help us. So that's it. We're going to take it 1. No boost on Assault. So actually we end up taking no damage here. So we'll redirect 1 damage from energy barrier into Mr. Hyde. Now, Unflappable says that only if you block or defend, you take no damage, you draw a card, so that's fine. I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Here's Griffin. 7 health Quick Strike. After Griffin attacks and damages the character, stun that character. So I'm glad we're able to defend this. And when defeated, if there is a stun friend of the character, shuffle Griffin into the counter deck. That is so cool. So now Griffin is attacking for 3. So we'll block for 3. We take no damage. We can do energy barrier to Griffin. We don't have a repurpose in our hand, so I think we can just use the energy barrier here. So I will... Oh no, we can't use the energy barrier because we're not taking any damage. So Griffin attack for 3. We defend for 3. 1 retaliate. And then we don't have to do the text because we didn't take damage. Creeping Willow. Okay, this is actually perfect. So we have a lot of minions in front of us. Do we have a way to throw our shield? We do have a shield toss. This might be a perfect shield toss, but this is a Creeping Willow. Comes in with 3 health card and Quick Strike. And this is why I prioritize keeping energy barrier around. It has Quick Strike, and it says after Creeping Willow attacks and damages a character, stun that character. So Willow attacks us for 1, and without defending, the energy barrier will return the damage. In theory, yeah, we'll return the damage to it, and we took no damage, so we don't get stunned. Okay, Unflappable should have drawn on Griffin because we blocked. We drew another energy barrier. That's perfect. Okay, good. This board state is a bit cursed, but honestly, I think we can deal with this because we have a couple big things in our hand. Firstly, we have Shield Toss. Now, Shield Toss forces us to discard a bunch of cards, but it'll do 4 damage to a lot of different things, which will wipe up most of the board. It returns our shield to our hand. We also can just play Nick Fury, which I think we do. I think there's no way we don't play Nick Fury to draw more cards, to have more cards in hand to throw the Shield Toss. So we'll do... Are we jumping down? Because if we jump down... Oh no, but then we have to Shield Toss first. So if we jump down, Nick Fury gets 1 cheaper. I don't think we're going to play the Force Field Generator, so we'll do 1, 2. We'll spend 1 Super Soldier, 3, 4, and we'll play Nick. Why we play Nick, we're just going to draw 3 cards. We could do 4 damage, but I'm just going to draw 3 cards. Each card is like worth 4 damage here. 1, Heroic Strike. 2, Gambi is back. And then a Repurpose is kind of playable this turn. Okay. With Repurpose, we could go to 4 attack, and we could just do attack, attack. Yeah, is it better just to play Repurpose here? Because we play the energy barrier with Gemma. We ready ourselves, we attack for 4. We ready ourselves, we attack for 4. Then we attack for 2 with Nick. I don't know. I think it's good just to keep the energy barrier around because we know there's more Creeping Willows in the deck. So maybe we don't do that. So let's try Shield Toss. It says discard X cards from your hand. We want to discard 3 cards. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. Return the shield to your hand. So technically we don't have this +1 defense, +1 retaliate, but that will come back in a second. And then deal 4 damage to X enemies. That will be 3 enemies. So we are going to deal 4, 4, 4. Wait, we were meant to advance the Hood. Wait a second. We were meant to advance the Hood. The Hood was meant to take retaliate 1. Did we totally forget that? Yeah, the Hood attacked us for 1. We were meant to advance the Hood. That has an impact on the deck. Hold on. I think it might have worked out okay. We would have drawn different cards, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Hood attacked us and we're meant to do retaliate 1. I'm going to just play on as if we forgot it. I think when you advance the Hood to the Hood 3, you're meant to shuffle more cards into the deck. So we might not have drawn these cards, but you don't do the foul play ability. So I think that's fine. Okay, that's this. Nick will just knock out Griffin. When defeated, if there's a stunned friendly character, no, that's good. So this means we can replay the energy barrier. We can replay the shield. This is what I'm scared of. I think with the confused, we're fine with this. So we'll replay the shield. So again, retaliate, +1 defense. We'll throw a gambit to ready ourselves. Yeah, this is fine. And then we'll just thwart for 2. We can consider jumping down here, but Nick Fury can chump block this turn, so we won't. And then we will hold on to this energy barrier, which is really good. We had 1 resource here. It's fine. We'll drop. Repurpose, Heroic Strike, Brother Voodoo, and Shield Toss. Okay. So this goes up to 2. The hood attacks for 1 in a card. We'll block with Nick Fury. 2-3 on Master Plan. Nick Fury's defeated. It's sometimes like when you're playing Unflappable, you want to block with yourself, but I think we'll be okay. Because we drew gang up. Nice. So the villain attacks you, each minion as well. So now the hood is attacking for 1 in a card. On this board state, we're relatively safe blocking. So we'll block for 3. We would love to take no damage here. We could take some amount of damage. So 1, 2, 3 damage with exhaustion. So we perfectly take no damage. Unflappable draws a card. Retaliate 1 defeats the hood. The hood 3 has 18 health. Again, this might have happened to happen last round. Bummer. But when revealed, choose 1 set aside and shuffle into the counter deck. 1, 2, 5, 6. Let's go double 1. Snake eyes. Okay. 3, 4. So it's a ritual or Sauron. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1, 2, 3. It's the ancient ritual. This one's a really weird one. The cultists are showing up because we're going to get this permanent card. I'll show you what this is in a second. Let me just move this out of the way. This is Clan Aqaba, which comes in with this permanent side scheme. It will have 5 threat on it, and it will be gaining threat. And all of the other cards are mostly minions that when defeated or when they attack will add threat to this ancient ritual. That's really important because if the ritual is completed, I believe we get an encounter card. Let me just pull this up. When this hits 10, I believe we clear 5 and we deal ourselves another encounter card, which is something you want to avoid. Now we can't get rid of this. It will always just be on the table. So it's just another thing we want to keep in check. Now, a lot of this deck is the cultists doing the ritual. So it's going to be pretty consistent because we added about like 6 cards to this deck. That might be just like 18 cards, 14 cards. Also, the hood has kind of evolved a bit. The hood has bigger numbers, schemes for 3, attack for 2, but also now foul play is so much worse. Let's discard the top 2 cards in the counter deck, deal each card, not the first card. So we'll see what happens there. The hood's pistol. It attaches +1 thwart, +1 attack. And we have to spend a physical and a mental to get rid of this. So attacking for 3 means we might not unflappable every turn. We probably have to get rid of that. All right, this is back to us. We could consider jumping down this turn. We get a lot of value. We get Leo, we get Steve, we get the ability to play a cheap Brother Voodoo, which is nice. I think we actually will jump down this round. So I don't think this is a repurpose angle, but it's definitely not a shield toss angle. So we'll discard shield toss to ready us using our hero ability. I think we can just let this cook for now. And we will just go ahead and thwart 2 off of this before we jump down because we do not need to recover. Are we going to do anything here? Do we Heroic Strike to do 6 damage and stun? I think we do. It's probably worth it. Yeah, we're here. We might as well. Oh, we could have done Fearless Determination to draw a card. I mean, it's almost always worth it, isn't it? It's fine. It's a cantrip. But is there a card that we want to draw? Sometimes you draw into cards and you can't play all of them, so it's bad. I mean, it's fine. I don't think we have to play it. So we're going to do 1, 2. We'll throw out the repurpose and we'll do a Heroic Strike here. We definitely spend a physical. In fact, we spent 2. So this will do 6 damage to the villain and we'll put a stun on top. Down to only 12 health. We could be sending damage and closing the game, but we're going to be hopping down instead. On Steve Rogers' side, our first ally is cheaper. We're going to use Steve's apartment to recover 1 and draw a card. So we would have drawn to Heroic Strike. Okay. We're now going to use Leo to go search our deck for a tech card. Electrostatic Armor is probably the cheapest one we can get. So I think I'm going to go for that. We were close to Retaliate, just like closing the game out. Like 12 health. If we were Retaliate too, that's only 6 turns, right? Is that a cut? Yeah, I still want to play the Energy Barrier. So we can spend Brother Voodoo for 2. The card Brother Voodoo draws, we can use that to play Energy Barrier. Actually, no, Gemma just solves it. So I think we'll spend 1, 2 on Brother Voodoo. Again, the first ally is cheaper. So Brother Voodoo says, after it enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event, add it to your hand, shuffle. So we'll look at 5. Our only event is Shield Block. I guess we have to take it. Not a useful card here. It's just a resource. Now, Brother Voodoo can attack for 1 or thwart for 2. I'm pretty okay thwarting for 2 twice. So thwarting for 2 once and then blocking. So I'm just going to go ahead and thwart 2, taking 2 consequential on the ritual, getting down to 3. Now left with our hand, we can play, I think we should play the energy barrier. We can hold on to the armor. We technically did not need to take it out of their deck because obviously we're floating a resource here. So kind of a cursed turn. Well, Gemma will generate one. We'll throw out shield block. We'll play an energy barrier. All right. I think we've drawn through all our repurposes. So no, we have one more. I think we have one more. Yeah. So that's good. It's good to keep that around. And I think we'll just hold on to this. Should not have taken it out of the deck. I should have planned the turn a bit better. All right. We'll draw up to 5. We have Change of Fortune. Spider Bite is going to come in could be free next turn if we set it up. Night Nurse is good for Stun or Confused. There's the last repurpose and then Energy. So we should be able to set up all this hand. All right, this goes to 2. Confuse goes through. No activation. 1 encounter card is a Sound Thrashing. When revealed, each copy of Creeping Willow attacks the player is engaged with, even if they're in alter ego. If you're not attacked, search encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Creeping Willow. I think Creeping Willow is actually worth keeping in the deck because it's not that bad of an encounter card. So we'll go from the discard pile and grab a Creeping Willow. The quick strike on this does not fire because we are in alter ego, so we can ignore its text, but it does have a card. And it's back to us. Okay. 12 damage. We've seen at least 2 of our big 6 damage attacks, but we could be doing in theory, this turn, we could do 10 damage. Wait, we can just win this turn, I think. Oh no, with the guard, it's a bit harder. Okay, I guess we'll start with searching our deck first with Leo so that we don't draw it with Apartment. So we'll search for whatever tech card we have. I think there's only one more, another energy barrier. Then we'll use the Apartment. So we can't recover one, but we can still draw a card. We draw Fearless Determination. Okay. Nothing else to do here in Alter Ego. I don't think so. We'll just flip up. Oh, do we have any allies? We do. We could play Spider Bite for free. So actually, hold on. Before we flip up, we have 1 tech card. Spider Bite costs 1 fewer for each tech card we have. So I'm assuming we will just play Electrostatic Armor for free. So we'll use Gemma, play an Electrostatic Armor. This means that when we defend, we have functionally Retaliate. It's technically different, but that's fine. And now we can play Spider Bite for free. So Spider Bite comes in for 1, but reduce the cost. So 2 health. Nice tech protection card. And we'll flip up to Captain America side. All right, we need to do 3 damage. This might be us and Brother Voodoo working on Creeping Willow. I think that is what we're doing here. We Fearless Determination, we cycle a card. We're going to deck out if we play it, so we might not want to. I think just another card here is not that likely to be good. So I think we're going to go ahead and just attack for 2. And then actually, yeah, why not? Spider Bite will attack for 1, knocking out Creeping Willow. Okay. Before we ready ourselves, we're going to go ahead and play Repurpose. I think we're just going to start sending some damage. So we're going to get rid of the energy barrier and we're going to choose attack. So now we have +2 attack for the entire round and we're ready. Now we're going to attack for 4 into the villain. So the hood's down to 8. Next, we're going to go ahead and just discard a card to ready ourselves using our hero ability. And we're just going to attack one more time for 4 more damage. So villain is down to 4 health. We have 1 damage here. Yeah, it's close. In theory, there was a chance we could have drawn. I think there's 1 more of the 6 damage card burst. No, there's no more big damage in our deck. So yeah, I don't think we could have got there. Actually, maybe, wait, do we have a shield throw? No, we don't have a shield throw. Okay, now we'll just spend all our resources the best we can. So we will spend 2 to replace the energy barrier. So that's good that we have that tech card. Then we can play both of these. So we'll play the Night Nurse. She's really quite good. Comes in with 3 counters. Exhaust her, Semitic. Oh, it just knocked a candle over. That's not good. Got some hot wax on some stuff. Give me 1 second. That's the dangers of playing with real fire. Got some wax on some wires. We'll fix that between the game. But the Night Nurse is in play, and we'll use this Super Soldier Serum to play Change of Fortune, which is unlikely to fire by the end of the scenario. But if it fires when you defeat the hood, you're kind of winning. That's it. Brother Voodoo, we'll just go ahead and thwart for 2 because we're going to deck out, I think. So we'll clear the main scheme. That's fine. We're in a good spot. We'll pass. We'll draw 5. First, Agent 13, Armored Vest, a block if we need it, ready for fight and strength. We have 1 card left, so if we draw with Unflappable, we'll deck out. Luckily, Unflappable is not forced, so we can always decide not to fire it, but we'll see how it goes. Actually, we're not even getting attacked. This goes to 2. Stun. I forgot about that stun. 1 encounter card. Tyrant Worship. I don't think we have anything to worry about here. When revealed, place 5 threat on the Ancient Ritual. Luckily, we brought it down a bit. Otherwise, if it hit 10, we would have got another encounter card. But we just need to do 4 damage this turn, which means there's literally anything we can do. We should be ready. We'll just attack for 2. We'll throw out a card. And we'll attack for 2 more. I mean, not that bad at all. We added a bunch of encounter cards. I think the one turn that we forgot the retaliate damage, maybe that was something. But yeah, it's a very smooth playing Captain America if you've not played before. The bottom of the counter deck has Black Tom Cassidy, the couple Zealots again. It was a lot of cards from that set. And yeah, a lot of bigger minions are showing up. The one other card that you can get in here, I think we discarded it, the one that says like add another encounter card to the deck, but otherwise we didn't see Horror, which is what I wanted, but we did see Cultist. We saw some Creeping Vines. We saw the Beastie Boys. We saw Mr. Hyde. So we saw some pretty frightening monsters, but relatively comfortable just trucking along there with Captain America. Anywho, thanks so much for watching. If you want to play this deck, I've attached the link in the description if you click through on YouTube, but most importantly, happy Halloween. If you want to spend a second leaving a like on the video, that really does help the channel grow. And otherwise, we'll catch you in the next one, or maybe on a Sunday morning stream. Thanks so much for watching. Ciao.